Hello, God bless. This is Daniel Maximov with another vlog. So, this video is going to be quite different from my others, in where I'm going to answer a simple question that a lot of people ask me. Those who know me, anyways, they don't believe it. Sometimes others do, others don't. But why? The question is, why did I boycott Hollywood from my life? And they don't believe it primarily because in today's media and in today's society, it's very hard to live an Amish existence from the media without being exposed to, either the news or cartoons or short-lived Netflix shows, etc. And I just wanted to address that now, and it will be the last video that I'll make of this. It's just so you guys be aware, because I don't focus on politics anymore or anything that has to do with that, because I think I said it all 100 million times, so it's getting repetitive to bring back open old wounds and just regress back to where, because this channel started, if you haven't seen, with politics, but it has shifted because I've noticed that politics is a cult and a very dishonest platform to be in, and it resolves nothing, and everything from that angle goes into hardened hearts and deaf ears. So this is just my take on this ordeal, and why I considered Hollywood as a whole, since its inception, since the start, why is a brainwashing machine, and why it's the catalyst and the one responsible for why you're seeing the things that you see, primarily because it teaches people, in as opposed to public schools and private schools. Like, I think Hollywood is the one that teaches the most and is the one responsible the most for the division and the iniquity and everything that you're seeing on today's technological world. So going back to my question, why have I boycotted Hollywood? So let's begin on that. Okay, so if you see my older videos, I am super against race bending. I'm super against feminism. I'm super against leftist politics. I'm super against because to me the leftist politics is pretty much a Jim Jones cult. So it's like the garbage in and out principle. So I'm not gonna be indulging that. And after all, your eyes are the windows of your soul. So I'm not gonna feed my soul garbage. So everything it started in 2000, and for me it started in 2012. I think the very last movie that I saw was the Power Rangers movie, and I never saw another Hollywood movie again. I never saw Infinity Wars. I never saw Avengers Endgame. I think I pretty much put a block on that. Never seen. I'm not into superhero movies anymore. I'm not into any really movie anymore, primarily because they are taught to teach you what you should want instead of what you want. And there's nothing really for me to analyze or critique, or let alone find inspiring in any of those movies, because the message is already clear to me what they're trying to say, which is never okay. I mean, it's just it was a cluster mess made into one, and it's tailor-made for 12-year-olds, and it's tailor-made for the social justice cult, which I'm not interested in getting into. really. So yeah, the Power Rangers was my it movie for Hollywood. I never saw another Hollywood movie again until my coworkers, pretty much I couldn't say no because they invited me, and I saw the movies Eternals, and I saw the movie Spider-Man No Way Home, which were two very boring movies. I kind of forgot about them 15 minutes coming out of the theater, and it really didn't do anything for me. It was like, to me, Spider-Man is Danny Phantom. Tom Holland's Spider-Man is Danny Phantom, and the Eternals was a mess from Act 1 to the final act. It didn't make sense to me at all. It was just two very waste of time movies that I just had to sit there, and when I was looking at them, I kind of drifted off to La La Land. It's like I was thinking of things unrelated to the movie by then, and yeah, it really didn't sit well with me. And that's the thing about Hollywood as a whole. Now you just go in and you don't remember those movies. You cannot analyze them. You cannot bring them downwards to a philosophical level to see what did the characters meant to you. You cannot even do that anymore because the message is already made for you. This is a propaganda made for people movie. Like, there's no interest in creativity, there's no interest in writing, there's no interest in building up something, and it's not limited to just Hollywood, really. I'm seeing that expand to buildings, expand to the academia, expand to going into work, expand into everywhere you go. It's just a dark void, a dystopian novel come to life. And and then you're asking yourself, why is this happening? Why is this going on? And it has been going on for years, really. It's just now it's more crystal clear. And social media, unfortunately, is the one responsible for amplifying this now. But you ask yourself, why is this happening now, and what can you do about it? And there's nothing really you can do for it, except throw your TV out through the window, open the Bible, open a book in your life, and instead of wasting your time on useless movies and TV shows, you should read something or do something productive that would help society better. What are the odds of that happening? So going back to my commentary, I don't like being spoon-fed garbage. I don't. I'm a grown adult now. Like, I'm not a little kid that likes being spoon-fed what I should want, what I should like, what should matter, because my mindset is not the mindset of other people. What I like is not what other people like. People are inherently different and privileged in their own individual ways. But you're seeing this Marxist, these satanic ambassadors of hell, entrenching, making Hollywood even more tainted than it already was, and delivering false narratives. The one that I hate most is the aggression principle, that in order for a woman to be considered strong, independent, they have to become men, and the only way that they respect masculinity is if it's turned gay, if the character is effeminate, or if the character is from the LGBTQ lens, which is the exact opposite of what guys want, and the exact opposite of masculinity. So, and as you all know, because I was I came from a public school. The aggressions between men and women are not the same. In fact, Rachel Simmons wrote a book, All Girls Out, The Hidden Aggressions of Females, shows that women are more psychological. Like, their bullying is psychological, which is where you get the queen bee from. And you notice that the popular cliques, when you get outcasted, it will leave you mentally scars, unlike the guys who settle their problems, their differences with their fists, and then the next day it's like nothing. They'll kiss and make up. It's like nothing happened. But with a woman, it's more long term, and and of course, femininity is liked because women are women and men are men. I mean, the girly girls, guys want the ladies. Going back on the original concept, a woman is beautiful, long hair, very feminine, dresses like a woman, behaves like a woman. And even though there's some who are tomboys, they still have self-control on that ground, that they don't ever cross the line of being she-males. But in today's societies, today's Hollywood makes women unlikable, unpresidently related. They don't resemble any woman that you ever encounter on society. And you can see a primary example of that is the She-Hulk show from Disney, which, from what I'm seeing from the ratings and the and the clips on YouTube, it's garbage. And they destroyed the character completely. They destroy Miss Marvel completely. Like, the Miss Marvel I grew up with was the one from Avengers, Earth Mightiest Heroes. Okay, that Miss Marvel is not at all the Miss Marvel scene. And if Carol Danvers was real, she will definitely would not have Brie Larson portray her or have anything to do with her. And Rogue will never absorb her at all. So they're spoon feeding these ladies who are anti-men, anti-woman, anti-stabilization of societies, nasty and one-sided all the time, and they expect you to be okay with it. And of course, if any of you clash with them, they'll just brand you as a woman hater, misogynist. Even though in today's society, especially if you look on Twitter, if you go on YouTube, social media, you see misandry, which is the being sexist towards men. That's pretty much on the rise. And of course, that's not being tackled on because you either get branded an incel nowadays than you would basically there's a branding for everything nowadays. When you try to stand your ground, it's just pathetic and infantile and harmful, really, long term, because that means that going forward, society won't know right from wrong. It will be anarchy and lawlessness, and nobody knows what's the truth anymore. And you're gonna sound crazy to a person, and truth be told, this was not present in back when I was growing up, and which is actually a decade ago. So the amazing power of a decade. So all of this contributes to a low self-esteem society that will not triumph in the long run. And Hollywood has helped a lot in this by making, and of course we're seeing women think that they can pretty much take down a bulk up guy, and I'm like, seriously? And you see that in women's sports, and you see that in TV movies, where like Charlie's Angels, which was garbage, and Thank you, Elizabeth Banks, for nothing really. Reminds me of that line from Charlie's Angels Full Throttle, where Cameron Diaz says, "Well, your boss sucks." I guess she meant Elizabeth Banks. So, you know, where they make the fights look sparing, and it's just spoon-fed garbage. As for okay, so that's my take on the gender aspect of this. But going to the race bending, there's no original characters that I see. And you know, I grew up with Static Shock, and what amazed me about Static Shock is that I could relate to him at that age, going through a lot. Like, he's a kid now, he has powers. He comes from the hood, so you know he's fighting pretty much gangsters and thugs with powers and juvenile delinquents with powers. So he has that. He's smart. So he has the academia, which everybody knows that growing up in, nobody takes you seriously as a kid. So that the teenage and the teenage mindset and the superhero, that's a lot of stress on a young hero. Like, and he was best friends with a white IT guy, and you know, and he had a single dad because his mom died. Like all of this, like, it's relatable, and it transcends far from race, but it's just a race vision. And these people are disrespecting, you know, it's very funny because I'm seeing the rise of CRT, critical race theory. Maybe they should provide that to people of color more, because they do disrespect other races, in particularly Black Americans. That I see that a lot. They disrespect other races, especially the white race. Maybe you should consider going on Twitter and social media, seeing how much the whites are hated, despite statistics showing that Nigerians and Asian outperform whites in academia and in life, yet they're still being hated on. So maybe they should teach critical race theory to Black Americans better, because since they're the ones who need it the most, and they are disrespecting other cultures the most, and they represent the entitlement and the iniquity and everything that everybody detests. They are what they represent most, and they don't even know about it, because they're, of course, the media is controlled by the fiends playing friends with these people, and they don't teach people, you know, especially not Americans, of, you know, where people with different backgrounds come from. Not everybody's privileged. Not everybody comes from a good place. Your race means nothing, because everybody struggles. Where do you think hillbillies came from? I mean, even in ghetto areas, this is unbelievable. So I grew up with Static Shock, I grew up with Storm, I grew up with Teen Titans, I grew up with Recess. You cannot tell me, I even grew up with Kids Next Door. You cannot tell me that there's no place for everybody. There is. And to say that there hasn't, it's an intellectually dishonest commentary and a fallacy. So I grew up with diversity done right. Why is diversity it's gone wrong? It's probably because of the blandly racist and intolerant left that has control, a chokehold on the media, and they're planting bad seeds into the minds of the kids through cartoons, Netflix shows, and etc. And of course, like I stated, it's the windows of your soul. Your eyes are the windows of your soul. Don't feed it garbage. Don't feed it hate, division, misinformation. You need it. You really, really need it to become a prosperous grown adult. and for the future, because kids are the future. So what future are we going into? I'm guessing we're going into the 666 mark of the beast, where it's going to be glory to men instead of glory to God. And of course, they're gonna unify under hate, because if you don't have the mark, they're gonna chop your head off. I mean, this is unbelievable. It's like the Terminator future is what we're heading for, if we aren't there already. And it's just wow. I'm sorry for going on the rant, but I have to, because this is a very delicate topic. Because if you turn on your TV, you turn on your iPhones, you'll see that there's nothing original out there. That I haven't seen already. There's nothing productive. There's nothing inspiring. There's nothing that will have you think of. And there's nothing that really. It's just men and women competing against each other on a regular basis. The white versus black, the oppressor versus the oppression, the hate on God, the hate on your country, hate on yourself, self-hate, which is actually synonymous with Satanism. I don't know if you notice, if Satanists worship a deity, Satan, who hates their guts. Satan hates humanity. So Satan, they're already worshiping a deity that hates humanity. So that feminism hates women and men, because if they were helping women and men, then they wouldn't be causing a division against each other. And women and feminists truly hate themselves. They hate men and women. They hate themselves. And if you look at it from it's a self-hate ideology. Same with Black Lives Matters. They hate white people, but they also hate successful black people as well, because they don't they don't share their narrative. Antifa hates the West, yet they live in the West. And they have access to McDonald's, they have access to Burger King, they have their own houses, they drive their own cars. They're not told when to go to sleep, what to say, it's horrible. It's a self-hate ideology, a nihilistic self-hate ideology that leads to hell. And unless you break free, you will end there. So all of this is what Hollywood teaches: self-hate, digressing backwards, amplifying the barriers that hard Americans fought so hard to tear down. They're trying to build it right back up and place a titanium steel on it, so that you will not be able to break it down. This is who these people are, and of course the propaganda machine is Hollywood, or should I say Wokewood, because they're not creating anything worth acknowledging, worth giving praise to. It's just, handing the people who don't deserve it everything on a silver platter is what it is to me. And it's distracting the masses from what's really going on, is that they're losing their freedoms, they're losing their minds, they're losing their love, they're losing a lot of things that are important. So this is why I boycotted Hollywood as a whole. They're not really in for the people. They're not really in for entertainment. They're not really in for anything other than to keep you down and misinformed and brainwashed, casting a large net, because these people are fishers of men for Satan to just, in a large net, to cast you back into the lake of fire. That's kind of what it is to me. So yeah, this is why I boycotted Hollywood. It's nothing to me. It's like the repetitious. It's I'm seeing the things over and over and over again, acted wrong, and in truth there's nothing about it that I really, it's a good time to be an independent a creator and just make the first original the revolutionary content known to mankind, because the Matrix, let me see what else, Kill Bill, all of those movies are gone. Like, it's like there's nothing original anymore. It's just dull, boring, repetitive. Really, it's uninspiring, narcissistic, everything taught from the point of view of people who are not only been sheltered their whole lives. You can tell they don't have love in their heart. There is black hearts, dark souls. It's told from the narcissistic, nihilistic point of view of a society that nobody wants in their groups or relate to in their groups. It's pretty much taught from the lens of the social undesirables, the demon possessed social undesirables, like the ambassadors of hell point of view, that nobody wants in their group, and nobody wants to be included in, wants to be a part of their group. So that's what these people are, and what they're trying to do through Hollywood, and why I boycotted Hollywood, and I never looked back ever since. So I hope this video kind of clears that out for you, and yeah, God bless you guys, and I'll see you guys very soon. See ya.